House Republicans are pushing forward with their effort to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. A House committee is now meeting to advance articles of impeachment against him. Republican lawmakers accuse Mayorkas of not complying with the law and breaching public trust over immigration and border policy. Democrats, meanwhile, have criticized that effort, calling it unconstitutional. CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion joins us now. Nikole, thank you for being here. What's the latest? Is this moving out of committee to the floor pretty quickly or not?
Well, the expectation is that this will advance and eventually will move to a full vote on the House floor, potentially as soon as next week. But this has really been a marathon proceeding as they try to mark up these articles of impeachment. And, you know, a lot of this stems from what Republicans believe is a dereliction of duty on the part of Secretary Mayorkas to enforce the laws at the U.S.-Mexico border. And they point to some of these record migrant crossings that we have seen most recently just in December, topping or around 10,000 migrant crossings, which, again, is extremely high. So even though those numbers have started to come down, there is a sense among Republicans that the secretary just simply has not done enough. And despite calls for his resignation and to step down, as you heard the chairman say, he feels that this is the only step to move forward. Democrats, on the other hand, are dismissing this as a sham. They say that this is simply about policy differences and it simply does not rise to that level of high crimes and misdemeanors. I spoke to two members of the panel earlier today to get their take on the proceedings. Take a listen.
Tell us what you're seeing and why you do think the secretary's impeachment is warranted.
It is very clear that whatever DHS is doing, they need to do something different. All you have to do is look at December. And so whether that's impeachment, whether that's resigning, whether that's putting somebody else in there, whatever it is, whatever the administration is currently doing is not working.
The bigger implication here is that we're not focused on fixing the problems that this country has. We have a border challenge, we have a refugee challenge, we have 2 wars, possibly 3 wars coming up, and we're debating an impeachment of a cabinet secretary.
So again, obviously, both lawmakers on different sides of the issue here, but would point out, of course, the first lawmaker that we talked to, Congressman Tony Gonzalez, really his district is at the epicenter of all of this. Eagle Pass, Texas, you know, this is a place where really that has been on the front lines of this border crisis. And so that's why you heard Congressman Gonzalez there say that he feels that there's no other option but to move forward with impeachment, whereas you heard from California Congressman Correa there who believes, look, let's at least try to work through this through policy, through legislation. Let's give this border deal a chance. As you know, we're still waiting on legislative text in the Senate. So that is something that could potentially move the ball forward, even though House Republicans, particularly the Speaker, continue to pour cold water on that potential package.
On another front, the Department of Justice is investigating Representative Cori Bush of Missouri, a Democrat. What's the latest on that investigation and her response?
Yeah, well, this really kind of came as a surprise to many, particularly because this grand jury subpoena was read on the House floor, referenced on the House floor just yesterday. But the Congresswoman did acknowledge that she is under investigation by the Department of Justice. Take a listen to what she told reporters this afternoon.
In recent months, right-wing organizations have lodged baseless complaints against me, peddling notions that I have misused campaign funds to pay for personal security services. That simply is not true. I have complied with all applicable laws and House rules and will continue to prioritize the rules that govern us as federal elected officials.
So again, this investigation by the Department of Justice is looking into whether the Congresswoman may have misused funds, campaign funds, potentially for security purposes. But as you heard, the Congresswoman there pushing back against that notion and really trying to make the argument that she has faced a number of threats throughout her tenure, so much so that she does require additional security. But she says that she is cooperating with this investigation, that she has used her fund and the purview of what she is allowed to do. And so, again, we will see how this investigation plays out. It is worth noting that the Office of Congressional Ethics did look into this some time ago, but ultimately closed its case, Bob.
Nikole Killion, thank you for your reporting. We appreciate it.
You bet.
Texas and the Biden administration are clashing, as you know, just from our conversation there about the southern border. But Texas Governor Greg Abbott now says he'll add more razor wire, despite the Supreme Court ruling the federal government can remove it. CBS News immigration and politics reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez joins us now. You've been tracking all of this. Help us understand at a bigger picture level the battle between Governor Abbott and the federal government over razor wire, over how the fence is going to actually look.
Yeah, Bob, this is a pretty remarkable clash between Texas Governor Greg Abbott and the Biden administration at the U.S.-Mexico border. The Texas National Guard right now, Bob, is blocking federal Border Patrol agents from entering a public park in Eagle Pass, the town that Nikole mentioned, and from processing migrants there. And that has remained the status quo for about 3 weeks now. Border Patrol has been asking the Texas government to say that it will allow them back into the park because they need to process migrants, patrol the border, and they're saying that this interferes with federal immigration enforcement. Again, that is a federal prerogative. But Texas is saying that they need to fortify this park with razor wire, with other barriers to impede the passage of migrants and to deter illegal crossings. The Department of Homeland Security has now referred this matter to the Justice Department, so this could quickly turn into the latest legal lawsuit that the Biden administration files against Texas over the issue of immigration.
As the court waits or maybe continues to deliberate over all of this, what happens to the people who are crossing the border?
Well, the number of people crossing the border has actually plummeted since December. Last month, we saw more than 300,000 migrants being processed by Customs and Border Protection, an all-time high. But illegal crossings have since plummeted. U.S. officials, Bob, attribute that to increased Mexican enforcement following a meeting in Mexico City after Christmas that Mayorkas attended with the Mexican government there, and also a traditional period after the holidays in which migration slows after the holiday period in December and after New Year's. And so right now the numbers have dropped, but officials there in Texas say that they are concerned that illegal crossings will spike again at some point and that they need to do that to prevent this from turning into another crisis.
Razor wire. It has a visceral
It does.
feel to the word. I mean, it evokes violence and it evokes skin against razor wire. What is it? What does it look like? You've been on the border. You've observed it up close. What does it mean for people who might graze it or even plunge into it? How is it playing out in real time? I mean, it's one thing to hear about razor wire being put up, but what does it mean? You've been on the ground.
That's right. I came back from Texas this morning. That park in Eagle Pass objectively looks like a battlefield. You have shipping containers trying to repel migrants from entering the Rio Grande. You have layers and layers of concertina wire and also razor wire set up there to repel migrants. And then you have National Guard soldiers deployed by Governor Abbott with rifles standing guard and telling migrants crossing into the U.S. illegally, you should be going to an official crossing, not doing this. Many migrants heed that warning and return to Mexico, so it is having some deterrent effect for some migrants, but other migrants are still finding a way into the U.S. despite that razor wire, often cutting themselves in the process, crawling underneath. So it is a very visceral scene, as you noted, and it really underscores the humanitarian implications of this crisis.
Are there any legal groups down there working with migrants?
There are some, but again, this area right now is completely sealed off, not only to the federal government, but to these lawyers and human rights groups.
We keep hearing about Eagle Pass.
Yes.
Why is Eagle Pass such a focal point for all of this?
Well, last year, it was the second busiest border sector in terms of illegal crossings, just behind the Tucson sector in Arizona, and it has been a hotspot for illegal immigration over the past 2 years.
So it's the hotspot in Texas?
It is, yes.
What makes it the hotspot? Geographically, for other reasons?
The water levels in the Rio Grande there are much more shallow, less deeper than other parts, and so it's easier for migrants to get there. And there are very sophisticated smuggling networks, coyotes, on the other side in Piedras Negras, Mexico, that really facilitate the entry of migrants into the U.S. in that area.
This issue, it's not going away. No. It's in front and center of American politics and policy. You're on top of everything. Camilo Montoya-Galvez, thank you very much.
Thanks, Bob.